My father told me to step aside when he favored his favorite son. He said, walk away if you don't like it. I did. He regretted it within weeks. My father never looked at me. He looked through me. To him, I was the reliable one, the shadow, the son who kept the family business running, while he spent his afternoons at the country club boasting about my brother Leo. Leo was the golden boy, charming, reckless, and perpetually broke. He had a smile that could sell ice to an Arctic explorer and a work ethic that wouldn't last a summer afternoon. The tension finally snapped last month. During the board meeting for our family's logistics firm, I had spent 6 months securing the Northeast expansion. It was my blood, my sweat, and my sleepless nights on those pages. My father took the folder, didn't even open it, and slid it across the mahogany table to Leo. Leo's taking the lead on the expansion, my father said, his voice flat. He needs the experience to eventually take my chair. The room went silent. I felt the heat rise in my neck, but my voice stayed ice cold. Leo doesn't know the difference between a manifest and a mortgage. Dad, he'll tank the contracts before the first quarter ends. My father leaned back, crossing his arms. He gave me that look, the one that said I was a tool he was finished using. He's my heir, he said. You're just a help. If you don't like the way I run my empire, there's the door. Step aside or walk away. I don't care which. I looked at Leo. He was smirking, already texting someone under the table. I didn't yell. I didn't throw a chair. I just felt a strange, terrifying calm settle over my ribs. Okay, I said. I stood up, tucked my chair in perfectly, and straightened my tie. Wait, what? Leo blinked, finally looking up. You told me to walk away, I said to my father. I'm taking your advice. Good, my father scoffed. We don't need the attitude. Leave your key card on the desk. I didn't just leave the key card. I left everything. What they forgot, what they chose to ignore, was that I wasn't just the help. I was the infrastructure. I owned the proprietary software that tracked our fleet. It wasn't the company's. I developed it on my own time, patented it under my personal LLC, and licensed it to the firm for $0 as a gesture of loyalty. I walked to my car, opened my laptop, and revoked the license. Then I called the 3 major vendors, who only signed with us because of my personal guarantees. It's over, I told them. I'm out. Do what you have to do. By Monday morning, the firm's entire tracking system went dark. No one knew where the trucks were. No one knew which shipments were refrigerated and which were expiring. By Wednesday, the vendors pulled their contracts, citing a breach of key personnel, clauses I'd hidden in the fine print years ago. I spent those days at a cabin by the lake. No phone, just silence. I knew the storm was coming. I just didn't realize how fast the clouds would break. On Friday, my father showed up at my door. He looked 10 years older. His suit was wrinkled and his hands were shaking. The system is down, he barked, trying to maintain his authority. Leo accidentally deleted the database. Fix it, now. I poured myself a glass of water, not offering him one. I didn't fix it, Dad. I ended it. The license expired when I resigned. It's my property. You're destroying the family legacy, he roared. No, I said, my voice a whisper. I'm just stepping aside. Like you asked. He's overwhelmed, he stammered, his pride finally cracking. He lost the Miller account this morning. That's 40% of our revenue. They won't talk to him. They're asking for you. I know, I said. I've already signed them to my new firm. The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush a man. My father stared at me, seeing me for the first time in 30 years. Not as a shadow, but as a predator. You'd bankrupt your own father for a grudge? He whispered. It's not a grudge, I replied, leaning against the doorframe. It's a business lesson. You told me you didn't care if I walked away. I just wanted to see if you were telling the truth. He stood there for a long time, waiting for me to blink. I didn't. How much? He finally asked. To come back? To save the company? I smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the smile of a man who had already won. I don't want your money, Dad, and I don't want your chair. I stepped closer until I could see the broken blood vessels in his eyes. I want the building. I want the fleet. And I want Leo's resignation on my desk by sunset. You're retiring today. I'll buy the remains of your company for pennies on the dollar, just so the employees don't lose their pensions. You're cold, he said, his voice trembling. I'm exactly what you trained me to be, I said. Reliable. I closed the door before he could say another word. He stayed on the porch for 3 minutes. I watched him through the security camera. He looked small. For the first time in my life, he looked like just another man who had made a very bad bet. Within weeks, the signs on the trucks were changed to my name alone. Leo called me, crying, asking for a job. I told him I'd send him an application for the warehouse floor. He'd have to start at the bottom, just like I did. He hung up. My father sends me emails sometimes trying to talk about the good old days. I don't reply. The view from the top of the mountain is beautiful, but the best part? The silence. I walked away just like he told me to. I just didn't tell him I was taking the ground with me.